All right, guys. Whew. All right, T, we're here, man. Honestly, I've been sick for the last couple days straight, man. Stomach bug, nauseous. Everything that comes with a stomach bug I've had. It's been miserable. Stomach bug, nauseous. Has not been fun. Hopefully you guys had a better weekend. This is actually a big week too, heading into everything. But yeah. You see AMD start to run, Nvidia starting to bounce back on microchip news. Let's see what it was. All right, Nvidia CFO said he would love to have a third foundry partner express the possibility of outsourcing chip making to Intel, according to Digitimes. Put this up so you guys can see it. Yeah, man. But again, I've been sick. Ugh, it's been miserable. Where's Bitcoin at? What's up, team? Yeah, we're here, man. Sorry I'm late. Again, I've been sick all weekend, man. I really have been sick all weekend, dude. All fully into the weekend. I got sick Friday night. And yesterday I literally just slept all day. Ooh, man, I hope it's not the norovirus. Whatever it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I was sick. But it was mostly just vomiting. That's all it was. We're gonna do a poll. Does the Fed raise rates this week? Vote on that poll. Let me know. That's all it was. Nothing else was included on it. Got you, pawn. Hold on, let me check it out, dude. Should have tags, unless I tagged the wrong one. Yeah, we got tags. We got tags everywhere. You might have to just refresh, pawn. That's probably what it is, brother. We've got tags. I see them trending here. I could see my tags trending underneath the video too. So we got tags, and so yeah. But I appreciate it. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think we're going to raise rates, Again, this news just came out. Nvidia CFO says he would love to have a third foundry partner express the possibility of outsourcing chips to Intel. Merck and Moderna initiate phase 3 study on another biodrug. Yeah, my wife and I have been watching that. It's a show called World on Fire, I think is what it's called. That's pretty good. I liked it. Who's Brian's? Let me see. Which is like a BBC show. Yeah, all good, dude. Oh, dude, man, again, I've been sick. Yeah, so this week we have CPI, the FOMC rate hike decision, PPI. It's the busiest week we got of all December. Oh, man. Team, I am... Alright guys, look at AMD rip, Nvidia ripping. We can see the SPY microchips are surging up. I guess on potentially that news that we talked about earlier. SPY is mostly flat right now, but had a really good day on Friday. I don't really see any other news coming out that's super relevant. Do you think Nasdaq will go below 16,000? I mean, it could. That's a long way down, though. It's gapping up pretty nicely. The Nasdaq specifically is gapping up. Mostly microchip related, but that's a big way down. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're just up so much yesterday. And Nasdaq's gapping up a lot, over 16,000. Good day Friday. Nasdaq currently at 16.3 thousand, so I mean, I'm not sure. Hey, what's up? Not with your help, go back to bed. Honestly, bro, I've been okay for the last like I didn't throw up at all yesterday, right? And so mostly it was Friday and Saturday. So like mostly it was Friday and Saturday, and I started to feel better yesterday. I wasn't 100% better. I kind of slept all day, but still. Anyone interested in the Occidental acquisition? I have calls and they just announced what's Occidental Petroleum, OXP, or no, what is it, OXY? Yeah, OXY. It's gapping down a little bit. Oil, we did bought oil a couple days ago. Still down on it, but we're pretty much flat since where we bought it at, given this time to run back a little bit. We're also at Disney. We're actually green on our Disney trade. We ended up taking profit. Small little dip buy though for Disney. It's at almost 93s. Our average price is 91.50. My equities portfolio today is doing pretty nice, specifically ARM. ARM had a great day yesterday. We're now nicely green. Overnight. Yeah, CPR's tomorrow. So yeah, CPI's tomorrow. We have this week we have CPI tomorrow, PPI Wednesday, the Fed rate hike decision Wednesday, jobless claims and something else Thursday. And then Friday we have something else too. So yeah, Thursday we got jobless claims and retail sales. Friday we have industrial production, capacity utilization, and the Empire State Manufacturing Survey. So it's a busy week, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. Today's the slowest day, followed by the busiest day for the rest of the week. But yeah, CPI's tomorrow. CPI, they're expecting 0%. So they're expecting no increase in inflation month to month, which is a great sign for inflation, of course. No increase in inflation month to month, obviously, is a really good sign. All right, team. All right, so again, we're going to be day trading some today. Man. E-mini. Where's the Nasdaq here? I think the Nasdaq's going to be better to trade. You see the Nasdaq on the right. AMD. What's the news in microchips outside of the news we have on screen, though? I'm looking at the news here. I want to see it's ARM. No, ARM ripped out Friday. Nvidia. All right, so Nvidia seeking chip production center in Vietnam is what the news is. So Nvidia is seeking to set up a chip production center in Vietnam, the Vietnamese government said Sunday, citing the company's CEO following a meeting with Prime Minister of Vietnam. Nvidia has invested about $250 million in the country, and fine relationships between the U.S. and Vietnam would help ease cooperation in semiconductor and AI domains, according to the CEO. They did not immediately respond, but yeah, that's basically what's going on. This is essentially what's gapping these other things up. We also have some AI news that Tencent and other chip designers are pushing their AI chips as alternatives to Nvidia's due to U.S. export restrictions. Nvidia CEO says AI chip makers are going to deepen ties with Southeast Asian market. We have millions of clients there after China setbacks, according to them. So all of these releases are impacting Nvidia and other AI stocks. You can see Nvidia moving up a lot, mostly from, you can see Nvidia really started to rip up, earlier this morning after this news came out. The news for Nvidia, the Nvidia/Vietnam news came out right around when this push started. And so my guess is that this big move in tech is from Nvidia, the Vietnam, cooperation news with Nvidia and other chip makers following it up to a certain extent. You can also see like ARM had a pretty nice day on Friday. We had a bunch of other chip makers doing well today, but that's what I see right now. Let me see. NQ rollover dates. Yeah, let me help you out with that. Let me see. All right, so in 2023, yeah, today's the rollover day. It expires on the 15th, but it rolls. The rollover starts today, and so I think y'all are right. I think it rolls over to. Let's see if it says. I'm pretty sure we roll over today, on the 11th. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, though. I think we switched to NQH2. Okay, actually, maybe December. Wait. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, so right now we have NQZ. We're gonna roll over to NQH. Let me see what NQH currently looks like. All right, so here's NQH3. Is it NQH2? No, they might not let us roll over yet. I'm showing NQH is the new one. Here, let me look at the chat. I'm sure the chat's answering this question for me right now. Yeah. Yeah, well, what's the new symbol? I think it's H today, but I don't see it. It's not letting me select it right now. I know Top Steps, they're on their website, they've got some good data here that helps you figure out when. NQH4. No, 4 doesn't let me do it. No, it's not 2-4. It's not 2 either. It's NQH. I just don't know which one. Let me see. Micro Nasdaq. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's NQH5. Or wait, yeah, it's not even letting me pull it up. Yeah, I mean, my guess is they still... So today's the day, like, we don't have to finalize the rollover, guys, I'm pretty sure, until December 15th, 2023, right? So the settlement date is December 15th, 2023. I'm pretty sure we have a couple days before we have to fully roll over is what I think. You know, I think that's what goes on. Yeah, well, it's not even letting me pull up some of them. But there's the Nasdaq here. Cool, man. Again, I'm just glad to... A lot of people saying the norovirus is going around. I wonder if that's what I got. See, my whole family was fine. Yeah, I've tried NQH4 as well. I can't get it to work either. So yeah, it's not letting me put up any of them, so. What's up, Douglas? All right, guys. So there's Nvidia pull it back a little bit. We got Nvidia pull it back some. I'm just gonna trade the regular contract today. It's whichever one has more volume is the one we're supposed to trade in futures. But I think for now, again, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Z for now. Wait, now the NQZ3 one's not even working. Weird, dude. Okay, now I'm really confused. It says no symbols found. Here, I'm gonna reset my quant tower. It's been a minute since I used it. That might be what this is. No, on quant tower you don't have to use the slash because it's all futures. All right, we're logging in. Yeah, if in that case, it might be the H one that might actually work. Let me see. So I've restarted the platform. I'm letting it log in now. All right, we're logged in. NQH3. Okay, so it's NQH4 is the new symbol, guys. NQH4. You can actually see it has a little bit better volume today with the Nasdaq relative to the other one. The old one is NQZ3. And again, you can look at the volume and see like NQH4 probably has a little bit better volume. Look, there's NQZ3, NQH4. Looks like better volume, stronger bars, better volume. So I'm pivoting to NQH4. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody in chat, I'm just reading it was right. But I assumed it would be NQH4 as well. They have a really good calculator that you can use on cmegroup.com is what I'm using. Yeah, I mean, I think you probably use both right now. I don't think you're going to get penalized on Top Step, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think you could probably use both right now. I think after the 15th, though, you're not going to be able to use any of them. Or you're not going to be able to use the old one anymore, is my guess. Yeah. Yeah, restart. We're good. All right, team. So, yeah, we're gonna have to put this in Nvidia news up because I really think this Nvidia news is what's moving the market. The Vietnamese production line they're getting ready to do. I think this is what's moving microchips. I think that's what's pushing everything up, in my opinion. Microchips are up a good bit. All right, guys, do you think this week with the rate hike with CPI, PPI, jobless claims, retail sales, do you think this week is going to be a good or bad week in markets right now? Good or bad week in markets? Red or green this week? It's a big week, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. We really do. We have like a gang of stuff going on this week, so. We got PPI, CPI tomorrow. We have FOMC rate hike decision, jobless claims, retail sales. This is probably the busiest week of the month right here, in my opinion. Like, I think we're going to be the busiest this week than any other week this month. So be ready, team. Also, slap that like button, hit the subscribe button. We got 41 likes. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Ugh. And I think I'm gonna have to skip jujitsu this week, because my wrist is just jacked up, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure my wrist is either sprained. Like, even when I flex, like, my bicep, it hurts. And so I don't want to force myself to I don't want to force myself to mess my wrist up more. I'm gonna stick with Z contracts for a few hours to 2 days. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, you did tell me so. But again, at the same time, I didn't even look at the chat, if I'm being honest. And I'm not just saying that because I have no reason to lie about this, to be honest. If I figured it out from the chat, I would just thank you guys. But I actually figured it out before I even looked at the chat. And then when I looked at the chat, everybody was like, yeah, it's H4. It doesn't matter, though. I appreciate the help regardless. Whew, man. Again, guys, I'm just hoping I feel okay today, man. Like, I hope I feel okay today, guys. So my son wants a boomerang for, you know, any recommendations? Because, I mean, what's the use of the internet if I can't get boomerang recommendations on a stock market live stream? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing in life if I can't do that? You know? Any recommendations? Honestly, I kind of feel like the Christmas Story mom, where, like, you're going to shoot your eye out, kid. I don't like natty gas. I've never liked investing in natty gas. I don't understand it. That's probably the commodity that I understand the least is natural gas regarding UNG. And so again, it's one of those, I don't understand natty gas at all. I don't mess with it at all. Oh, I mentioned I told you so regarding resting your wrist. Yeah, you're probably right, bro. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really worked it out. Like, dude, it's weird. Like, my wrist hurts, but it doesn't hurt that much. Like, I can push on it, doesn't hurt that much. I can pull on it, doesn't hurt that much. If I try to lift anything, like what I would think would be my shoulders, right? Like, if I lift this, it doesn't hurt that much, right? But if I'm stretched out and I'm holding something this way with my hand pointed that way and I lift it up, it hurts. So I don't know what's wrong with me. Top 3 most injured people in the world right now. I guess that's what you get when you do jiu-jitsu every day. You know, you get hurt eventually. All right, guys, market's kind of flat too. If we look at the Q here, we're gonna put the Q up. Q's pretty sideways here if we look at it. Very neutral activity. We're going up, down, up, down, up, down. That's what we got right now. I didn't even, you know, I was sick because I didn't even watch the UFC fights this weekend. I didn't watch one of them. You know I was sick. You see, I'm looking at these boomerangs online, but I feel like I should probably buy at least like 5 of them. Bro, these are going to go in a freaking lake. Bro, these don't... $40, bro? Oh, never mind. All right, good. I was about to say. Bro, I'm so cheap relative to like how much money I make. I think that's a good thing, though. My dad was the same way. I used to hate it, dude. My dad used to buy me off-brand cereal, Walmart shoes. I freaking hated it. I hated it as a kid. No kid wants to show up to school on the first day of school with Walmart shoes. I promise you they don't. I freaking hated it, you know. Wait, are these all red boomerangs? All right, here, team. Look at the Nasdaq dipping back under the 200 EMA. Very choppy price action, though. Like, we are really sideways here. Bro, can I pick different colors, dude? Are they all freaking red? Whatever. I'm just gonna check these out. But again, as I got older, I appreciated my dad being cheap. You know. All right, guys, Nvidia. What's the SPY at right now? We're looking at the Q. Q's pretty flat here. SPY looks pretty neutral too. It's kind of shocking though. It could be, I guess, because of because it's the rate hike week, right? And so the Fed's raising rates. We got CPI inflation data coming out this week. You know what I mean? And so in that regard, we got CPI inflation data coming out this week. We got the Fed rate hike decision. I don't think the Fed rate hike decision is going to cause choppy action, but I do think the CPI data is probably going to cause choppy action this week, right? So a lot of the time ahead of these big economic reports, the market's just flat and boring. All right, we've ordered some boomerangs from Colorado Boomerangs. You got your tendon inflamed. I'm a full-time lean hogs trader. Okay, you got to be trolling. Fish and seafood is the best commodities. Yeah, but my son's at the age now where he's 10, basically. He's almost 10. He's at the age now in which anything that could even... Hold on. Bro, I am slacking this morning, bro. I'm talking about Christmas presents, bro. My door is wide open. What am I thinking here this morning? You know I've been sick, man. But yeah, my son's at the age in which anything that could even slightly be construed as for kids, he does not want, right? So anything brightly colored, he doesn't want it. Anything that's got a kid on the box, it's too little for him. He's too grown for that at this point. 9 years old. 9-year-olds, they're too grown for that stuff. You know what I mean? That's the age my son's at right now, where he's too cool for school. He doesn't want to take anything with a kid on the box. It's literally just, if it's got a kid on the box or bright colors, it's not for him. And so I would have bought him a Nerf one, but the risk of that is that I buy it for him, it's got a kid on the box, and boom, he doesn't want it. Yeah, I mean, my wrist is okay. Dad was the same way, had a lot, but always saved, hated it, but understood why, did the same thing. Yeah, for sure. AI algo bros. All right, and again, you can kind of see how the SPY is following Nvidia to a certain extent. So like, here's the SPY on the right. The whole market's following Nvidia, I should say. So here's the SPY on the right, bounce up, pull back, bounce, bounce up, pull back, bounce, right? You kind of see the same kind of pattern or trend here on the right and left. It kind of shows how much microchips are influencing the rest of the market. But with that said, we're kind of just going up and down, up and down. It's really boring. But again, microchips are up after Nvidia seeking chip production center in Vietnam and the implications of that. All right, team. Man, Ian Gary, the UFC fighter, man, he's got some trouble lately, man. Honestly, listen, I don't mean to be a jerk here, but like, dude, the fact that this dude is so good, bro, this dude is so good, and the cloud that hangs over his head is who he married, you know what I mean? And I'm not even judging, like, but, bro, he took his wife's last name, you know what I mean? I'm not, again, do what you want to do, be as progressive as you want to be. But I'm not taking my wife's last name, that's for sure. As well as, like, your nutritionist is your wife's ex-husband. And then I heard he also lived with them. And, like, the story's just kind of weird. And she published a book in 2012 on how to... Basically, she published a book on how to marry a rich athlete. And then 10 years later, literally 10 years later, marries a rich athlete. And he doesn't suspect a freaking thing, bro. These young kids, dude. These young kids, man. Just naive. Just naive, bro. You know? Yeah, hyphenated. I mean, I'm not judging. Again, I'm not judging. But, like, notice the 5% drop in altcoin overnight, then slow recovery. Yeah, I noticed Bitcoin had dipped a little bit. Bitcoin dropped all the way from 45 to 42K overnight. Let me guess if it goes up on the Fed meeting and pause again. How are you interested in that? Because it's MMA related, right? So if it's MMA related, I'm slightly interested in it. It's just a story that I'm reading. It's not like in the MMA world, it's like a big story right now. You know? Yeah, I mean, my son wants a boomerang. What are you gonna do? I mean, I'm not judging. I just think the whole story is kind of crazy, right? The whole story is kind of crazy. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know? Yeah, I know she defended herself. I saw that too. The problem though is like she's 42 and he's 25, right? And I'm not saying young people are naive, but young people are definitely freaking naive. When I was 20 something, I was dumb as a rock. Okay, like I had no idea what was going on, especially with you know, like again, I'm not saying young people are naive, but young people are incredibly naive. You know, they just are. Bitcoin experts deserves to lose it all. I don't know, man. Bitcoin, you know, the story you always hear, right? And this is something that you see. This is a very common trend in trading, right? But the story goes, and the same thing happens in the S&P 500, right? Basically like this. Bearish traders are bearish all throughout here, right? And regardless of their bearish sentiment, whatever the symbol is pushing up big. You know what I mean? This happens on the S&P quite a lot as well. Then when we have a small dip, bears are like, aha, see, I told you so. Same thing happens on the S&P 500. If you look at the S&P over the last year straight, every one of these dips, bears have celebrated. And again, I guess I understand, but I think same thing here. S&P rips up this year. Every little pullback, aha. See? And so I think in the end, Bitcoin has pushed up a huge amount. You know, this thing was at 15K back in November of last year. So, you know, again, over a year ago, this thing was at $15,000. This thing has had an incredible 52 weeks of bullish action. Bitcoin all the way back up to close to 50,000, pushing towards it, heading up to it. And so I get people might not like it, and that's fine, but we can't ignore what it's done. And again, I have no idea what it's going to do, of course. Nobody does, but I don't think we can ignore that either. SPY's down 0.06%. We're crashing down. It's the end of the world. Doom and gloom. See, I told you so. Bears for life. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly just trolling right now, guys. Of course I am. All right, but Bitcoin ripping up. SPY over 460s right now, man. What a day. Or close to 460s. Right around 460s. What a week last week. How did it do this last week, actually? Let's put a weekly chart up. So it actually had a pretty green week last week. So it looks like it went up from about 455 to 460. Look at this green. Look at the week chart here. All right, on the SPY. The SPY has had, look at how many weeks they've had green in a row on the SPY. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green weeks in a row. 6. green weeks in a row. That's impressive. That's impressive. Again, I'm not saying it's going to continue on this green week streak, but again, 6 green weeks in a row, that's impressive. You know, and this is coming after we had that one of the largest. This has been a historical couple months for market activity as well. You put up a daily chart here. You know, the SPY had the big crazy run that it had prior to this, where it had, let's see, was it back here in October, where it had 7 green days in a row. 7 green days in a row. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've had 7 green days in a row multiple times in markets here. We've had some red streaks as well, of course, but if we look at like the Nasdaq, microchips have been pushing this move up, especially Nvidia up to 475s right now. Again, on the topper end of the range. Nvidia has this range. If you look at a long-term chart, in my opinion, Nvidia's been in this range basically for half the year already, where it goes up, down, up, down. It's basically between $400 and $500 is the range, you know, and sometimes it stays towards the top, but this has been the range of Nvidia really for the last like 4 months, where it basically has a range between $400 and $500. Every time it gets close to 400, bears are saying, aha, it's the end of the world. Every time it gets close to 500, bulls are saying it's the big bull run of the century. And again, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I know it's towards the top of that range at about 475s right now. And yeah, we'll see. What if Bitcoin pushes 75K without a decent pullback? I mean, I hope it does. All right, Nasdaq dipping down a little bit. Part of me wants to buy the dip here on the Nasdaq. There's Nvidia pushing up. Here's Tesla. Where's Tesla at? I haven't really looked at it that much today. But Tesla at 243s right now, still very strong. Had a really strong day on Friday as well, it looks like. Or maybe not a really strong day. Had a neutral day Friday. Yeah, I hope we hit a Santa rally this year. We'll see. What's the symbol of reef? Bear. Yeah, where's Apple at right now? Again, Apple at 195. Big pull up. Reached highs of almost 196. Man, I gotta get trades off this. There we go. I show trades on Apple. It's just like, all right, so the lifetime highs of Apple are 198. It's at 195.70. So Apple is really approaching lifetime highs here. So really kind of approaching lifetime highs. Again, I don't know if we're actually going to hit it or not, but we're getting close to it. Any other big news stories that you think I'm missing, team and home? Imperial Oil expects to take up and pay for 19.11 million shares at $78.50 a share under offering, representing an aggregate purchase of $1.5 billion. Hey, thanks, Beach Bomb. Again, y'all hit that like button, team. We got 75 likes. We could break 100 real quick. We should only have one push. Looking at our poll numbers here, we asked, does the Fed raise this week? 34% say yes, 66% say no. It's surprised that 34% of people think we're actually going to raise rates this week. It's just super unlikely. If you look at the voting numbers, you know, less than 2% of people think we're actually going to raise rates, analyst-wise, and which means it's very, very, very unlikely that we're going to raise rates. I know the bears might want us to raise rates, but especially with inflation under control over the last couple months, it's just super unlikely that we're going to raise rates, in my opinion. I think it's much more likely that we're going to pause, and I think that's almost certainly what's going to happen. And again, we've been right on like the last five or six decisions we've been correct on, and so I think that's what we're going to push for. Is we're most likely going to pause or skip. And so again, just to give you guys some perspective here, this is the week ahead. Tomorrow we have CPI, one of the biggest days of the week. 8:30 is what time this drops. We're going to cover it tomorrow. Expectations are for no increase in inflation. CPI data 0% is what they're expecting. Last time we came in at 0% as well. Right, so if we come in at 0%, that's going to be a really optimistic sign regarding inflation. Core CPI expected to increase 0.1% to 0.3% versus last time's 0.2%. In year-over-year inflation, CPI expected at 3%. Core CPI year-over-year expected at 4%, and the U.S. monthly federal budget expected at minus $250 billion. Wednesday, we have PPI. So CPI is the consumer price index. It's how much prices are rising for consumers. Wednesday, we have the PPI report, which is how much prices are rising for producers or sellers. Expectations for PPI, regular PPI month over month, is at 0.1%. Last time it was a decrease of 0.5%. I don't see any core PPI. I don't see any core PPI readings or anything like that. But jobless claims dropping Thursday. We also have the Fed rate hike decision again on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Expectations are a pause. Again, it's pretty likely that we're going to pause. Very unlikely that we're not going to pause. Jobless claims numbers come out Thursday. Expectations for that are 220,000. Last time they came in at 220,000. And again, just like last week, it's one of those things in which higher is typically going to mean worse. Or higher is typically going to be positive for markets. Lower is typically going to mean worse for markets. But again, it certainly varies. Retail sales expected to show up at minus 0.1% on Thursday. That's a pretty big report. Again, it drops at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Again, minus 0.1% is what they're expecting. Core is expected at 0.1%. And that's basically the week. We also have the Empire State Manufacturing Survey at 3.5%. This evening, we also have Oracle earnings this evening. So we do have Oracle earnings this evening. Let me see where Oracle is at. I'm actually holding Oracle. And so I'm hoping it does well during market hours, but it will be something I'll have to watch. Yeah, I think it's kind of shocking that many people think we're going to pause as well, or think we're not going to pause as well. But again, usually the bears are blinded by greed. You know, no offense to the bears at home, but typically the bearish traders are blinded by their sentiment. They desperately, it's confirmation bias. Like they want us to go down, and they understand a rate hike will make us go down, and so they overestimate the likelihood of it. It typically happens with each Fed rate hike decision, where mostly bears are predicting a rate hike when everybody else is expecting a pause, and then we don't raise rates, and then they scream manipulation or whatever it is. It usually happens each time. Okay, we got 81 likes, guys. We got 400 people here. Just do it now. Just try one time. What's up, Chef? I think we see all-time high of no rate hikes. No, I think no rate hikes are already overwhelmingly expected. So I think we're almost certainly not going to raise rates anyway. You know, and so I just don't think we're going to raise rates. I haven't even pulled up Twitter yet. Maybe I'm missing some other big news today. Let's see. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm looking at, again, it's a busy week. I'm looking at earnings this week. We have Oracle, Bluebird Bio this evening. Nothing else basically until Wednesday, where we got like Adobe in the evening, Photronics in the morning on Wednesday, Costco Thursday evening, and then that's basically it. There's nothing else going on. So this evening we got some big earnings reports, but specifically Oracle is the biggest one. But again, it's still pretty slow. Yeah, Powell's not going to raise. You're trolling, of course, but I'm hedging with SQ this morning. Hey, good luck. Is RNG Ring Doorbell, or is it a different company? I see Ring Central. I don't know if it's the same Ring Doorbell that everybody knows or not. Alright, so Apple is gearing up for the Apple Vision Pro launch with employee training and store preparations. How much is the Rivian pickup truck? How much is like the top of the line Rivian? That was the real question. Like, I want the fast one. I mean, 11.9 seconds. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're in a world now where like a sub 12-second quarter mile is considered slow, but it is. You know, 11.8 seconds for an EV like this is not impressive, especially when you consider the Cybertruck. Hey friends, anyone have any idea why my poll doesn't show up? I'm not sure, man. I heard the poll doesn't work for some people. Right now, 66. The poll is asking, does the Fed raise rates this week? Top one is yes, bottom one is no. And so 67% of people are saying no, which is probably the right move. It's very unlikely that we're going to raise rates. All right, guys, again, SPY now under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. Tesla now over it. Again, we can take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia is actually holding, you know, again, we always talk about this 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. Nvidia actually holding that spot pretty well. Look at the dip right down to the consolidated spot of it. All right, guys, Nvidia at 475. Everything else that looks good today, team. Any other news that I'm missing? What's up, Murphy? Good morning, John and all. MRIP, but not much else going on except for Nvidia may move with the news of finding or building a Vietnamese production plant. Yeah, for sure. That's what caused the big microchip pop. We see it in ARM. We see it in Nvidia. We see it in Microsoft to a certain extent even. But Microsoft looking really weak today. We're still pretty green on our equities portfolio, though. Hey, we need one more like to break 100. Appreciate the love, guys. Upgrade to premium. Yeah, everything's kind of slow today. I think everybody's kind of waiting on the big rate hike decision. I'm checking Bloomberg. I don't think we have any other big stories today. Monday's pretty much quiet. We got 10-year note auction coming out at like 2 p.m. today. CB employment trends at 10, but I think this is Norwegian. Yeah, Norwegian, Norway. CPI data came out this morning. Came in under expected everywhere for month over month, year over year, but it's Norway, so I mean it's pretty insignificant. We got some ECB members speaking today. Tuesday is a big day though. Tuesday, core CPI expectations dropping. Market's very flat right now, and so I haven't really been trading a ton. Yeah, I mean, again, tomorrow we have CPI. Wednesday we have PPI and Powell speaking. Thursday we got retail sales and jobless claims numbers. So it's there's a lot of stuff coming out this week. Very busy week. But today's actually pretty quiet. There's just not a lot of stuff going on. We've covered most of the big news. All right, so look at the SPY bounce here. I can also look at the Nasdaq and see we've had a little bit more like movement over the last 3 minutes here, but it's still pretty quiet, pretty boring. We still got like an hour before the market opens, a little bit more than that actually. But what do you think of Pfizer? I'm neutral on Pfizer. I think it could go big, but it also could sink. Just depends on what the landscape of the world looks like regarding that one. That one's dependent on what happens in the world, you know. Look at Nvidia rip up. So and I know me just saying rip right here is going to bother some people, but that's okay. That's why I do it. 476 looks like a level that it's a whole dollar level. It's kind of struggled to get over this spot, and then we also have these levels over here, these previous high levels right around the 477 is probably where we'll cover. Let's just remove this one, put this one up there. Yeah, that level looks interesting. So we're going to keep an eye on those two above us. And also, like, again, Nvidia is so market moving that I think watching it to see what the SPY does makes sense. If the SPY ends up breaking over the previous closing price here, you know, SPY's right around there right now. If the SPY breaks over this previous closing price, we might buy a dip here and look for a bounce like that. If we get one or not. But again, the liquidity is pretty light right now and you know, it's pretty boring. yeah, again, we'll see. Higher highs, lower low spy. Look at the Dixie. Thoughts on gold this week? I haven't even looked at gold, to be honest. Yeah, so there's Nvidia ripping up. I'm sure the Nasdaq. We'll put the Q up to watch. Remember, the Q is the Nasdaq scene, and so we'll put this up to watch it. The Q is ripping up with Nvidia, and remember, this is kind of how you might be able to get a little bit of like a leading trade where you can catch some stuff in anticipation or earlier. In anticipation of a larger potential move based off of what microchips do. And this has been a nuance of the market I've seen a lot. So again, you can kind of see Nvidia start to run. Q kind of follows it up a little bit later, you know, a little bit slower, but still moves up. And so when you see Nvidia start to look strong, you can, you know, maybe get some pairs trades with something like the Nasdaq or the Q or whatever you decide to do it on. This is something that I do a lot with my day trades. If I see a big move in a leading sector like microchips, then I might take the counter trade on whatever else it is. Like the SPY or the Q. With that said, though, Nvidia just ripped up. It's at 476.50s here. You see the Q at 391.70s. Yeah, I think the liquidity is just really low right now. Is the only risk that I'm seeing here is like the liquidity is pretty light, and so I just don't trust it that much. Why did Nvidia rise? I mean, Nvidia's not. Again, I'm sure some people are like, that's not a rip. I'm just describing what I can this morning. Nvidia moved up. It probably doesn't have a reason for it. It's just broke highs, just technical price action. Alright, so again, there's Nvidia still moving up some. Nvidia now broke highs of pre-market over the last 3 or 4 minutes, and you can kind of see the Q following it up as well. Does this hold? Team, are you guys buying the dip right now? Again, you see Nvidia on the right side. You see on the left side, we got the Q pushing. All right, guys. Let me mute this real quick. Hold on, I'm looking at something else on the background here. pull. Just took a Nasdaq short. Hey, we'll see. Okay. I love catching fallen knives. Hey, good luck, dude. Alright. Again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funded account program and futures. Great way to learn day trading. Like, we might start day trading some at the open here, team. We still got about an hour left. You can see Nvidia and others. Remember, we did roll over one contract. We're on NQH4 right now, NQH4. And again, we might take a little trade on TopStep here. We're going to buy this little pullback, see if we catch a bounce. We've got 2 contracts at the Nasdaq here. Ultimately looking to ride a bounce back up. We just took half of that off, scalping this. And again, this is how you day trade in futures with no PDT rule, right? I'm basically day trading the Q. There's no PDT rule. I took half off already in futures, and I'm basically day trading the Q. I can't day trade stocks directly, but I can day trade index funds like the Nasdaq, the S&P. I can day trade currencies, gold and silver, and there's no PDT rule. And most day traders try to trade like cash accounts, or they try to put up thousands themselves. The risk is so high when you do that, where these funded account programs are allowed in futures, where they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. Base one on TopStep, which is the most legit futures funded program in the world, is the 50K combine. It only costs 49 bucks. If you're good enough to pass it, you get 50,000 in funding with a 90% split. So the reward is similar to putting up the money of yourself anyway. You're just risking so much less. And when you consider that most day traders lose, it makes perfect sense to try something like this out. If you lose, it's not the end of the world, but if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a 90% split. There's free funding coaches. All right, so we're probably going to go ahead and cut this about flat. There's free funding coaches, no PDT in futures. It's just the most legit futures funded program in the world. They've been around for over 10 years. Again, if you want to check it out, we're probably getting ready to cut this trade pretty much flat here. But again, if you want to check it out, there's the link. No, you can't trade the SPY in Robinhood with no PDT rule. You can trade essentially the SPY price action, or what's called the E-mini in futures. It's not the same price, but it's basically the same thing. Like the SPY is the S&P 500 price action, and you can trade the S&P 500 in futures. I'm trading the Nasdaq 100 right now. We're gonna go ahead and cut this and get out pretty much neutral there. I actually like the dip buy on that trade, but again, the market's so choppy right now. Yeah, I'm looking at the E-mini. I don't know, man. I'm looking at both of these. They both look like they have good enough volume. Today playing short, covering the... Oh. Catching falling knives is a losing strategy. It depends on what you're doing. This is Quant Tower on TopStep. So this is TopStep's Quant Tower. CPI's tomorrow morning, and we'll be streaming CPI tomorrow morning. Yeah, market's super flat right now, team, so there's just not much good action here, in all honesty. It's just kind of boring. I think the whole market's just kind of waiting for something to show up, something to happen. Is pause an option? Well, pause, it means they're not raising rates. Yeah, I mean, today's the CPI report, Eve. So today's the day ahead of CPI, so like it's most likely that we're gonna have choppiness today, and that's kind of what we've seen already. Where we got choppiness, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, it's been kind of boring. Alright, so still dipping down again. Watch Nvidia at 476. We'll see if 476 is a bounce spot or a bounce level here. Do you think there's a good chance the Fed will say something along the lines that due to the resiliency of the labor market, they may consider a hike in one of the next couple meetings? I'm not sure. I mean, I think that's possible. You know what I mean? Like that's certainly possible. You know, and if we look at labor market trends, I certainly think that's possible. Now, whether they're going to say that, I'm not sure, but of course it's possible. The CPI report, Abdul, is not until tomorrow, brother. CPI report drops tomorrow at 8:30, and so we're gonna stream it live, but it's not until tomorrow. Yes, Sam, I'm not sure. It's probably just because I'm a scalper. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing to have any accuracy rate or anything like that. You know, I certainly don't know what my long-term accuracy rate looks like. But yeah, I'm not sure. Today we don't really have any news. Today's just CPI Eve. So today's just the day before CPI. We don't really actually have any other like big news today, in all honesty. Yeah, I'm checking everything. Even Twitter seems kind of light. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Alright, so we got a big pop-up, big relative to what we've seen previously on the Nasdaq. So we did get a big bounce back up a little bit. this. We got to pop up. Again, Nvidia, remember I told you guys 476 on Nvidia? We bounced directly off of that level. Literally directly off of 476. All right, so we're still getting a big pop up. We had a little bit of a trade here that we just took off on the long side buy and that pullback to the support area. See if we get some better action here too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's possible they say it. Again, what Powell, the reason, like, the labor market has been one of the big halting things to inflation hitting their target over time. You know what I mean? The labor market has ultimately been too hot. And when inflation's out of control, and the market certainly doesn't want, market certainly doesn't want the labor market to continue to go up, in my opinion. You know, what's dragging the market up right now, just like it did Friday, is microchips. We had some Vietnam microchip center news in Nvidia. All right, team. SPY's so flat right now, just be careful today. Yeah. Ugh. Man, guys, sorry if I'm a little bit slow today, man. Again, my stomach has been in knots, dude. Such a choppy day right now, though. Again, Nvidia's still popping up, though. Nvidia at 478. At 478. Has the Nasdaq node now gathered enough contracts to... I don't know. Yeah, AMD, Nvidia ripping the market up, just like today, and just like Friday. Earnings, the only big earnings this week are we have Oracle this evening. That's the only big one. We got Costco Thursday evening and Oracle this evening. That's the only real big ones. AMD over 130s here, so we're going to watch to see if AMD can hold. No, I'm not an Eli Lilly. I don't know anything about them as a company, to be honest. What is the up Neotech metal stock? Is it? I'm not sure. Never heard of it. If it's a penny stock, it's probably kind of sketchy. Yeah, I've heard Google AI was better, and I've used Google's Bard a lot, and I really like the AI. Yeah, man, Twitter. The market's so flat right now. Again, so Nvidia broke over 476, held that level of support, went up to 477. To a certain extent, Nvidia really is following whole dollar price action. Again, if you look on the right side here, look at Nvidia. Again, I can't say it's going to continue, but again, here's 475 support, move up to 477 resistance, reject, pull back to 476 support, bounce, push up to 478, reject, pull down to 477, bounce. By this move, we're going to rip over 478 and then pull back and hold it as support. If that trend continues, I'm not saying it continues, but like, watch hold dollars on Nvidia. They've been holding really well, really well. Nasdaq still very flat though, very boring. We got 45 minutes or so until the market opens, and the market's just kind of boring. Yeah, Jaspreet Singh says, quote, the CEO of Louis Vuitton is the richest person in the world. Why? Because millions of broke people pay him to look rich. Sometimes. Other times, though, like, again, I'll tell you this. Like, for certain brands, wealthy people certainly buy it. And Louis Vuitton is definitely one of those brands, right? Like, Louis Vuitton is one of those brands. And again, typically I agree with you. You know, there's a very common saying, don't try to look rich, be rich, right? Like, don't try to look rich, be rich, right? With Louis Vuitton, though, a lot of wealthy people actually do wear, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of wealthy people. That's the one brand that I'm like, like, a lot of wealthy people actually wear this. But I will say that it depends. You know, I've always, like, people, and again, there's a lot of nuance to it. Like, some of the nuance behind stuff like this is here's an example. There's a lot of levels to wealth. Number one, typically at the top levels, money's not an issue, right? Some of the higher levels, they don't want to be targets, right? Like, so a lot of times they dress up in t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops because why? They don't want to be targets. They don't want people to target them necessarily. And the flashier you wear, the more people target you, you know? There's a very famous quote, and it goes, the brightest person in the room's the weakest, right? And what they mean by that is that typically the people who want to look the wealthiest are the most desperate, you know? It is one of those things where a lot of people get talked into, like, here's an example, is like a lot of people, they make their first $1 million, right? They make their first $1 million. Are they going to spend 30% of that $1 million on a fancy car? They shouldn't, but a lot of them do, right? So a lot of them make $1 million. They spend 30% on that on a Lamborghini, a wildly depreciating asset. And I don't think that's the right move. I think a lot of the time people, they're so desperate to look rich, they miss out on actually being rich, you know? And I think that's the point he's trying to make. But again, I think it's all relative to who you're around and what you're doing. Apple price target raised to 250. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Apple. I hope it continues to rise. You know, we've been in Apple for a while now. I took some profit on it last week, but it's been all the way up to 196. Green day in equities for us today as well, though. Yeah, it's all relative. Another example is like a lot of wealthy people actually lease, and this is a common misunderstanding because like conventionally you might think, hey, well, wealthy people buy, wealthy people buy cars, they own their cars, they don't just lease them. And like I understand why people might think that, you know what I mean? Like I really do. I understand. Like same thing with like buying homes to a certain extent, right? But it would actually surprise a lot of people to understand that a lot of wealthy people do not own their homes, or do not own some of the places they live. A lot of wealthy people don't own their cars, right? And again, I've given this example before. An example of this is like, okay, if you want the newest and best, right? If you want the newest and best car every year, right? If you've got money like that to where money's not an issue and you want the newest and best car every year, are you going to buy a new car? Wait till the end of the year, sell it, buy another one? That's a lot of work. A lot of people are just going to lease their car every year. They're going to get the newest car. They're going to lease it, pay 20, 30, 40K for the year just to lease it. And at the end, they're going to lease it again. They're going to get the 2024 model. They're going to lease that. They're going to get the 2025 model. They're going to lease that every year. And maybe sometimes they buy them, maybe sometimes they don't. But they don't want to go through the hassle of buying and selling cars every year. It's easier just to lease it for a year and make their decision afterwards. Same thing with houses. Time is money, and there's a lot of time that's spent buying that type of stuff where you could just kind of get it out the way. Yeah, first million. Yeah. It depends though. All right, guys. Hey, we got a little bit of a triangle flag pattern on the Nasdaq here. And again, I'm not claiming to be rich or wealthy or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys my take and my experience. We got a little bit of I would say like a symmetrical triangle. I think we got to watch Nvidia though. Nvidia right around 477, right around that support level. Watch 478 up here. That might be a relevant level also. Starting to push up a little bit. Watch what Nvidia does, S&P does, Nasdaq. What's oil at right now? So oil is still kind of flat on the day. Exxon's starting to move up a little bit, so we're slightly green there. And again, we're going to start day trading futures at the opening bell, team. Go towards the top of this range. Part of me wants to buy this dip down here too, but it really depends on what Nvidia does. I guess we can wait some. Yeah, it's very choppy right now, guys. It's kind of boring. Watching Apple, watching Microsoft as well. Microsoft's been very weak on the day. It's all the way down to under 371s. Hey, what's up, Guts? Thanks, man. Yeah, again, we're kind of boring right now, man. The market's just not really doing much today. Again, I've been sick all week. What do you think of PayPal at these prices? I'm in PayPal right now, right? So I am actually in PayPal currently. We're very green on it. We've my average price on PayPal is 51s, and it's at almost 60 right now. So we're very green on PayPal. We've been green on PayPal. So we're in it right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it though. I really don't. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with PayPal here, but we are in PayPal right now. We'll see. Sorry, guys. I'm basically having to tell my son I'm gonna ban him from Christmas if he doesn't do his schoolwork. Ugh. Parenting, man, parenting. All right, we're here though. Sorry, guys. Look at the Nasdaq rip up though. The Nasdaq's pushing up again. The Q's pushing up. Let's see if the SPY is following in it. SPY is moving up a little bit, not as much as the Nasdaq here. I'm looking at AMD. AMD's ripping, of course. Nvidia's trying to push. Apple has been the stock that's been pretty down today. Microsoft is pretty weak as well, but we are starting to see some bullish action here. Yeah, I'm in Chewy right now. My average price is $16.90, so we got in close to the lows on Chewy. And it's had a crazy good rebound. Hopefully it'll continue back up. Anybody know what's dragging Microsoft, or what's dragging the Nasdaq up with it? Anybody know what's pulling the Nasdaq up? Because I'm looking at tech. I don't see anything super strong. Is it Tesla? Could be Tesla. But the last like 4 or 5 minutes has had some bullish action. Anybody know what stock is pulling the market up like this? Nvidia's not really moving up that much. I'm trying to see what's moving up. AMD could be it. Somebody was mentioning AMD. AMD almost at 131s. So it could be AMD. I'm hoping it is. Looks most similar. We're testing the top of this range, but I think we've had a triple top right here. So if we can't break this, it's a bad sign. Although I do see like a longer term potential flag playing out here. If you look at a 1 minute chart, you can kind of see the wedge. It's probably more close to a wedge. We put up a 5 minute chart, you probably can see it a little bit more clearly here. But again, we'll see if this actually holds. This is a 5 minute chart right here. Sorry guys. Again, I've been sick for the last like few days. My hair is probably a little off. I'm gonna put my hat on. I've been puking all weekend, trying to eat now. But yeah, here's a 5 minute chart. We'll see if we get some good action here in the market. It's a boring, slow day, so we don't really have much going on. Yeah, I see Broadcom starting to push up some, but SPY's still pretty flat. SPY had a good day on Friday though, over 460s. Yeah, well, it's been a boring, choppy morning, so I'm trying to participate in markets today and stream a little bit, but there's just not a lot going on. I'm trying to day trade a little bit at the opening bell. You know, in life, there's two types of people. There's people who drink their cereal milk and people who don't. What side are you on? I'm always a cereal milk drinker myself, personally. I I don't trust you if you don't drink your cereal milk. I mean, it's the greatest milk in the world, you know? How can you not drink your cereal milk? Yeah. Might be that way. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole market's kind of waiting because CPI comes out tomorrow, right? So it's pretty flat. Yeah, my son's the type that he'll eat a whole bowl of cereal, refuse to drink the milk. My wife is as well. You know? There's always the ratio, people. It's kind of like a PB and J. Are you the type of person who likes more peanut butter or more jelly? Personally, I like more jelly myself, right? Cereal's the same way. You got some people. My wife's the type of person who likes just a little bit of milk. She barely likes any milk on her cereal. She likes it crunchy. I'm the type where I drown my cereal with milk and then drink the milk afterwards. Q's starting to push up. It's at 391.90s. Should I do a poll? Well, it's not about efficiency, Caesar. He said cereal milk drinker implies the overpouring. All right, look at the Nasdaq breaking over the highs of the day here. So the Nasdaq just broke over that triple top that we had here on the Nasdaq. So again, we'll look for a little dip or a pullback here, see if we get some good action. Q's still pushing up. Q about to go green on the day, so it's been flat. It's trying to go green on the day. I don't know what you should do. I don't know if you should buy the Nasdaq or not. Personally, I really don't know, man. Again, if you want to day trade with me, again, we might buy this dip. See if we get a little pop. We got one contract with the Nasdaq. And again, if you want to day trade like this in futures, try out Top Step funded account program. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you the same amount. Do not put the money up yourself in futures, or if you're trying to day trade, putting up the money up yourself is a huge risk. There's no reason to do so. Most day traders lose money. We're gonna go ahead and scalp out. Just made a cool little 60 bucks. Most day traders lose. All right, so you can either put the money up yourself trying to look cool, or you can try out a funded account program like Top Step. Again, they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you don't pass the test and you hit the max loss, then you're going to lose generally less than you would putting the money up yourself. Anyway, so it's the best of both worlds. Base combat is 49 bucks. If you pass that test, they give you 50K in funding with a 90% split. So you're keeping most of your profit anyway. You're just risking much less. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, basically the SPY. You can day trade the Nasdaq, basically the Q in futures, no PDT rule. You can day trade short. You can see I can buy market, sell market is what I do. And again, it's just a great way to learn day trading with less risk. There's free funding coaches, tons of resources as well. Great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased in their favor, but I have been funded on multiple accounts lately, and a great way to learn how to day trade. Even just taking the challenge, build your skill. You check it out. Here's the link. Yeah, Har, I have no idea what you're talking about. You bought 0 day till expiry calls and lost your life savings? What are you talking about? I mean, you're obviously trolling me a little bit, and that's all right. As you guys say, if you lose your life savings, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. If you're copying a guy called beginner trading, I mean, listen, I'm not saying you deserve to lose your money, but I mean, you know. SPY is trying to rip up, so the Nasdaq is now technically green on the day. Technically green on the day. Or close to it at least, pretty flat almost. So previous closing price on the Nasdaq is 392.18. So we're at 392.13. So the Nasdaq's trying to go green on the day after staying slightly red. Slightly red. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's trolling. Even if he's not trolling, like I said, man. Again, if you're following a guy that tells you not to copy him, that tells you he's not an investment professional, he's not liable if you lose, as well as a guy that's called beginner trading in his trades, you know, Darwinism, okay? Nice pump. Yeah, again, Nasdaq ripped up. Look at AMD test highs here. Let's also watch Nvidia. I go all in based off of YouTube streams. All right, so we got a little dip. Yeah, again, guys, I'm kind of bored here sitting around. I mean, we got the break of the highs. Part of me wants to buy this dip, too. So I'm going to try to buy it here. See if we'll get something good. Kind of flat right now on this one. Okay, so yeah, he's a troll. Hard bat. And that's alright. Trolls are welcome here as long as you're respectful. Alright, so we bought one contract on this pullback. We'll see if it holds this gain. Tesla hit 275. I want to add a little bit more to this position too, and I think I might since I have a cushion. Q now dipping down, rejecting basically right off of that previous closing price. Now we're popping all the way back up to where we're close to break even on the trade. I want to see if we'll rip back over here. I wish I could have gotten a little bit better of an average in all honesty here, because now we're basically flat on the position. Now we're slightly green. Big rejection there at the top though. Looks like a lot of people were taking profit maybe at that spot. And we're bouncing directly off of the bottom. See, we haven't lost over $100 on any part of this trade. And as soon as I say that, we just crack down pretty quickly and then bounce right back up. I don't know if I like this trend though. I'm gonna take half of this position off and then be a little bit more laid back with it. We're so choppy, I'm just kind of getting stuck in the chop, which if I do have a weakness in trading, it's over trading. We still got 20 minutes until the market opens, so maybe we'll get some better stuff after that, but I'm just gonna cut the trade. I think overall it's just not worth continuing to force it. We still got all day to basically come back from small little loss that we've taken, and I just don't trust it enough to I mean, honestly, I like the pattern, in all honesty. Like, I do like the pattern and the trend. But I also think the market's really choppy, and we've pushed up a lot the last couple. So I can't tell if XOP here is spamming. It looks like he is. Okay. Good day to you, sir. All right, so we did get a little bounce back up. Watch Nvidia here. Nvidia right at 477s also. People wake up this early to spam. Bro, you would be surprised at what people wake up early to do on this live stream. Bro, you wouldn't believe what I told you. We got some people who dedicate their whole morning to just trying to frustrate me a little bit. Which is, again, if that's you, I feel for you, man. You know, it speaks more about their life than anything else. But, like, hey, thus is the life. What's the symbol? Booth. What's the symbol, bro? Alright, so Nasdaq did rip. Maybe I should have held that position. Nasdaq did rip up. Yeah, that's not the symbol. Oh, you're talking about crypto. I'm not worried about crypto, bro. Sorry. All right, so Q testing highs again. S&P 500 is a little bit slower moving, but still trying. So we got a little pullback, double top on the Nasdaq here. So we'll see if we can break that double top area. I'm into crypto, but this isn't a crypto stream. Hey John, did you ever have a weakness in trading that was hard to get past, like a mindset or pattern that caused you to lose? I mean, of course, everybody has, man. Everybody has weaknesses in trading, brother. That's just part of trading, man. It's you know, you're gonna have skills, but you're also gonna have weaknesses. It's inevitable in trading. The way you get past it is just conditioning through repetition. You just slowly work on getting a little bit better at those weaknesses every day until it becomes easier to do stuff. But it varies, you know what I mean? It depends on what you're doing, you know. It depends on what the weaknesses are and. All right, so we did take another long here. We're in the regular E-mini. I'm gonna take half off there, lock that in. You know, we're still up about $50 on the last remaining contract here. So We did end up making some money from this trade and direction here. I'll probably let the rest roll. Yeah, I mean, everybody has weaknesses and struggles for sure. That's just life. All right, guys. Hey, we got 13 minutes here, 13 minutes. Still pushing up a little bit more here. Very flat market action though, day. We did get the break of that range. So again, it looks like my trends, like again, one thing that I've noticed and something that's really given me a lot of confidence lately is my trend lines and support and resistance. Like remember guys, I drew this level way back here, you know, and we held that level to a T. Perfectly held that level. And so that's something that is giving me a lot of confidence lately. It's just the is my support and resistance and range levels. You think Tesla's gonna hit 500? I hope it does, bro, but who knows, man. 500 is kind of up there. That's over 100% gain in a year. I mean, I hope it does, but it's also pretty unlikely that it does as well. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it does, but, you know, I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. It's a big week this week, though, guys. It really is one of the biggest weeks we have this month. It's probably the biggest week we have this month. Let me see what we got next week. I haven't even looked. Okay, next week's actually pretty boring. Oh, we got PCE next week, GDP next week, housing starts. So we're gonna stream next week, but we're probably gonna. We're gonna be traveling some. EV is the future. Yeah, 100% EV is the future. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes here. 10 minutes. Market's very, very choppy, though. Remember, CPI drops tomorrow. Expectations for CPI are 0%. 0%. And so we do have CPI dropping tomorrow. Expectations are 0%. If we come in at expected or better than expected, or which would mean under expected, then there's a big chance the market's going to run big amounts. If we come in at expectations or higher than expected, then there's a big chance the market's going to fall pretty drastically. All right, so we are pulling back and bouncing a little bit here. So I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, guys. Run to the restroom real quick. Again, if I take over 10 minutes, we'll do the same thing we always do. All right, so again, we got our 2 minute. We're gonna put the timer up. Again, if I take over 2 minutes, you can call me dummy all day today, guys. That's the rule. All right, get ready. All right, guys, I'm back, so I made it. We're back. All right. And look, remember we got a rollover in these accounts, so we did get a rollover here. All right, so we're back. Nasdaq dipping. Hold on. All right, so we got the opening bell in 5 minutes here. I'm also looking at oil today, guys. So we're also looking at oil. So here's oil. So oil, would it be H4 again? Just like futures. Okay, so yeah, I guess, is there a more volatile oil? Should I use Z4 format? So CL Z3. Is that going to be more volatile? I guess this is a good way to check like volume here. Nvidia pulling all the way back to 476. No, so it won't even let me pull that one up. I'm just gonna go back to the Nasdaq. It's a little bit better. Put the headphone on. All right, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes. Love you. Have a good day. No, we beat the 2-minute time. CLF4 for oil. Yeah, I don't really trade oil that much. I'm kind of messing with it, but yeah, that's what it is. CLF4. Yeah, I just don't trade oil that much. Tesla red. Yeah. Kroger coffee. All right, guys. Let me get the bathroom break thing off. Hey, we got 3 minutes. Walgreens moving up. I'm in Walgreens right now. I see Tesla dumping down. Yeah, Tesla just did go red on the day. Walgreens is shooting up also here. Market opens up in about a minute. Yeah, Tesla, Nvidia dipping down. I'm not sure what happened here. Is this some news catalyst that showed up? Let me see. I don't see any news. Apple is going to offer added value for songs mixed in Dolby Atmos. Apple will incentivize artists to use the spatial. Anybody know why Tesla dipped so fast just now? I can't figure out why. Yeah, today we have Oracle earnings. So Oracle earnings are the big ones today. So here's the opening bell. Nasdaq ripping back up. We're watching Nvidia test these levels here. Again, we are getting some bounces at the open. That's nice. Home Depot. Hey. All right, guys. Sorry, my wife's coming in here to talk to me. I'm gonna take a little bit off of Honeywell. We're in Honeywell right now. I'm gonna go ahead and lock some of that in. Took some of Honeywell off. Nvidia dipped pretty sturdily at the open. What is this? That's Honeywell. Home Depot. Coca-Cola. Nike. We're watching ARM as well. So the markets are actually starting to rip up a little bit despite pullbacks at the opening bell here. Tesla dipped a lot, but it's still over 240s. So I mean, even with the latest dip, Tesla's still okay. Yeah, these candles are crazy. And so we're starting to bounce up a little bit more on the Nasdaq. Look at how deep Nvidia has fallen since the open, though. It's kind of dragging the rest of the tech down. You can see Nvidia on the right side. Nvidia has fallen down a lot. But again, the last couple days have all been pretty green. AMD and other tech stocks are dipping down some too. Very flat open though, guys, so I'm kind of quiet here. I just don't know if I like any of this stuff yet. All right, look at the Nasdaq rip up here, Q popping up. I'm trying to see what's driving it, but that's a big bounce. I'm trying to see what's driving it here. Apple's retracing some. Microsoft could be also another one of the driving factors here. Microsoft's ripping up a lot. Yeah, I don't know what stocks are really driving the market up like this in tech. AMD's bouncing back, Apple's bouncing back, Nvidia's bouncing back some. Microsoft's up a little bit. Microsoft could be what the driving force is. Microsoft's starting to rip back up too after dipping for most of pre-market today. This is a very big bounce, very strong green action. And again, if you want to day trade futures, Top Step's the most legit funded program. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K. With a 90% split, they pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. A great way to help support the channels by checking them out. A great way to learn day trading with less risk. Like putting up the money up yourself in day trading is super risky. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. We're going to go ahead and buy this. It's unnecessary. You don't have to do that. You could just try a funded account program. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you're good enough to pass it, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. We're up nicely here. All right, so we're down now. We're probably getting ready to cut this. We'll let it retrace a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut it. Just pull it back too much. But again, a great way to learn how to day trade if you haven't already. I'll put the link up. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money, and so of course I'm biased, but a great way to learn day trading. There's the link. Check it out. We could look at the E-mini. Again, we're trying to switch contracts today. Here's the S&P. A little bit more choppy. But there's a big retracement all the way back down here. So Nasdaq giving it all the way back. Microsoft coming all the way back down too. Very choppy day. Tomorrow's CPI, so again, the market could just be sideways in anticipation of CPI. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call this a delicious dip. It's just such a flat day, guys. I just don't see any good edge right now, personally. If you guys see something, let me know. But again, I just don't see any big edge right now. It's kind of flat and boring. We move up big, we move down big. In Home Alone in 1990, Kevin McAllister spent $19.83 on groceries. According to the Daily Mail, the cost of these same groceries today would be $68.99. Inflation, ladies and gentlemen, inflation. Kevin McAllister. Again, very flat over, guys. Again, I would buy it, but we might reject. Would go short, but we might bounce. It's just boring price action. Again, here's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq looks a little bit better, but yeah. Tesla coming back? Is it really? It's come back a little bit. I hope it does. It's bouncing back up. My portfolio is definitely looking a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, my portfolio's looking okay. Ford's still technically red on the overall position, though. Amex, we're green on. That's nice. Citigroup, we're still green. Chewy, we're green. Disney, we're green on. Yeah, and again, I'm looking at oil, guys. What was the symbol for oil? What was the symbol for oil? It was somebody. After I'm scrolling up in chat to find it. What was it? CL. Well, no, I know it's CL. CLF4 is what it is. Yeah, sorry, I don't really trade oil. So CLF4. So again, oil's not really my wheelhouse, so to speak. Oil doesn't look very much good trading either. Nasdaq's still pushing, I guess. And I guess people are still trading the old rollover contract here. It looks strong, but again, part of me wants to short this. Yeah, maybe waiting was the right move. All right, we're short. We just made 50 bucks real quick on our funded account. I think we got out of it just in time. we made a little bit. I mean, it looks like a big bull flag, but Honeywell still ripping up more, I think. Let me see. More off there, lock in the profit. Tesla's still consolidating down lows. I'm shorting the Nasdaq again on my funded account. I just made another $80, up about 130 on our funded account. Well, and this is a different funded account than we've been trading the morning. This is a funded account. We're up 130 bucks or so on this one, so that's nice. See if we can grind this up some more. Sorry guys, I gotta go check to see what's going on. All right, we're back. Honestly, I should have been using Chart Prime a little bit more. So if y'all haven't checked out Chart Prime, it's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Honestly, I should have been using this a little bit more often because here's a 5-minute chart. Even in the choppiness, it seems to be pretty legit. Again, this is a trading view indicator service you could use in stocks, crypto. It's just custom stocks, crypto, Forex, futures, whatever you like trading, you can use it on trading view. And again, it's just custom indicators. Look at the sell signal, beautiful dip. Strong buy signal, nice little bounce. Sell signal, nice little dip. And these are 5-minute candles, right? So this is like 30 minutes of bullish, bearish action. Buy signal there, nice little bounce. We got two. We got a sell signal and a reversal signal, nice little dips. That's like an hour, hour and a half. Reversal up and a buy signal here, beautiful bounce. This one didn't work. That's the one that didn't work. And then this one bounced up. So look at all the symbols today and then look at how many worked versus didn't work. In my opinion, right? I can't guarantee any of this stuff, but in my opinion, one of them didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the buy and sell signals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 out of 8 worked, in my opinion. 7 out of 8. And that's pretty nice and choppy action. Again, this is just a small piece. There's so much stuff that they offer. I could put up back testers if you have the lifetime subscription. I could put up chart patterns, market dynamics. I could put it on any time frame I want. I could put it on short-term, long-term time frame. And any symbol, I can look at the Nasdaq here. If I want to look at the same type of symbols as well, I can put up an hourly chart and check it out on an hourly chart and see if they work. Again, you can use the back tester to figure out what's working at any point in time. Look at it. Honestly, whoa. This is an hourly chart on the regular Nasdaq. Look at the buy and sell signals. Impressive. This one didn't work, of course, but this strong buy signal worked. This sell signal, look at 3 indicators showing up at once. This is for days. Reversal up definitely worked. Buy signal there definitely worked. I can't guarantee for sure, but to me it looks like they definitely work. Strong sell signal, beautiful dip. Reversal up worked. Strong buy signal worked. These two definitely worked. Buy signal here definitely worked. We got a little bit of a breakdown. You could maybe say that one didn't work. But yeah, honestly, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 out of 11, in my opinion, didn't work. And that's an hourly chart. Those are long-term trades. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Again, it's called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service. I can't guarantee you're going to make money, of course. They're a sponsor of mine, and so I'm definitely biased in their favor. But check them out. Seems genuinely useful. I'll put the link up in the description. I'm probably going to close it down. My son needs some help today with schoolwork. He's trying to finish his schoolwork for the holidays. And so if you want to check out Chart Prime, there's the link. I'm probably going to get out of here, guys. The market's been so flat. I don't see much of an edge. In my funded account program, we did make some money today. We're up 130 bucks. No losing trades on this funded account program. Although we did lose earlier in some other stuff. So it's all good. And again, hopefully you guys are doing better than me. It's a boring day today, guys, so we just don't have much going on. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Remember, bright and early, we got CPI inflation data dropping tomorrow. And so be ready, guys. Tomorrow is a very, very busy day. Very busy day. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe in these markets. And, yeah, y'all have a good day.